welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about a case that is a few years old but has came back into the true crime world again due to an update. Some of you may have already heard of this case before. I have obviously never done a deep dive on it because this is a newer channel. If you are not already, please make sure that you do subscribe so that you never miss a future case. So this case that we are going to be talking about today is 7-year-old Athena Strand. Again, a lot of you may have seen a little article about this or seen it going viral on social media, but I am here to give you the full deep dive into this horrible case. I honestly hate doing cases that involve children. Obviously, all cases are sad, but kids just hit a lot harder for me. So I do just want to give you a warning that this will be very hard to hear. Athena was kidnapped right by her home by a FedEx driver. She was born in 2015 to Maitland and Jacob. Her whole family adored her. She absolutely loved singing, music, and dancing, and she loved the movie Frozen. Some more stuff her mom said about her was that her favorite color was pink, she loved animals, and she was very much into jewelry. And a fun fact about her is if she could have eaten McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, she definitely would have because that was her fast food spot for sure. She was such an outdoors girl. She loves school and drawing, and she left behind 2 beautiful sisters that she absolutely adored. She was such a good big sister to both of them. It was said that Maitland and Jacob were split, but they did have a good co-parenting relationship and are both now remarried. On her father's side, she has a stepmom named Ashley and a stepsister and then a biological sister as well from that marriage. On her mother's side, she has a stepfather and a biological sister from that marriage as well. I guess you could say a half-sisters. I honestly don't like using that term because a sibling is a sibling in my eyes. I have a sibling that is, I guess you consider a half-sibling to others, but I just feel like it's very odd to call someone your half-sibling over just saying they're your sibling. I don't know, that's just my personal opinion. Jacob lives in Texas and Maitland lives in Oklahoma. Around this time, Athena was living with her father for a few months because her mother was handling some important medical things and was supposed to go back to live with her mom on December 1st. Paradise, Texas, where Jacob lives, is a very small town and really full of farmland. On November 30th, Jacob was on his way to hunt for deer, but then received a phone call that no parent should ever get. Ashley called and said she went to Athena's room to check on her and she was gone. So as soon as he heard this, he quickly turned around and drove home as fast as he possibly could. Ashley reported that she and some other relatives spent an hour searching for her and could not find her anywhere. This is when Jacob told her to call the police. She was reported missing at 6:50 p.m. Jacob got home after authorities were already on the property. Thursday, September 1st at 2:10 p.m., an Amber Alert was then issued for Athena. Multiple law enforcement agencies had been searching for her throughout the day and the night before. The Amber Alert described her as being endangered and was last seen wearing a gray or black long-sleeve shirt with blue jeans with flowers on the pockets and some brown boots. Texas gets dark around 6 p.m. around this time of the year, and this specific night was extremely cold. It was like 32 degrees outside by the time it was 9:30 p.m. The police said that's why they decided to put the Amber Alert out so quickly because of how cold it was supposed to get that night. I think the lowest it got was 27 degrees, which is extremely cold, especially for a child. Rumors went around and made way to authorities that Athena ran away after getting into an argument with her stepmother. At this point, the possibility of an abduction was still on the table. Everyone got together to keep searching for her. Helicopters, drones, thermal imaging, even horses were out. A lot of people were pointing fingers towards Ashley because she was the one watching her that day, and unfortunately, there are a lot of cases where stepmothers hurt or kill their stepchildren, so this was not just an out-of-the-ordinary assumption. Especially because usually a 7-year-old is being monitored enough to where they wouldn't be able to just up and run away like this. So other family members started coming forward and stating things like she was a mother herself of a toddler and 2 other kids and said that she was making dinner at the time, and when dinner was done, she yelled for everyone to come eat and Athena was gone. Later on Thursday, the Wise County Sheriff's Office made a statement to address all of the rumors. They said both the father and the stepmother were both cooperating with authorities. Supposedly, the reason why they didn't do the Amber Alert sooner is because family members stated that she's done this before, so they all thought she was going to be found. Let me just clarify real fast, though, that her mother said this was not like Athena. And I'm sorry, but a mother knows their child like the back of their hand. She's never ran away before like the other family members stated. They had a press conference on Friday, December 2nd, where they went over everywhere they searched, including their father's 6-acre property. Specifically around the house and inside the house, just everywhere that she was last seen. And unfortunately, they did not find her. There was an old house on that property that is considered abandoned, that nobody lives in, that is truly just worn down. Jacob and Ashley live in a trailer on that property, and Athena and her 10-year-old stepsister were living in an unfinished shed while the main house was getting renovated. This shed was most definitely not fit for the kids. Obviously, it was not safe at all. The dogs picked up a very short trail from Athena's scent that just went around the house and then went over by County Road 2123. This sadly still didn't lead them to Athena. Around 4:30 on December 2nd, a reporter was talking to neighbors on County Road 4599, 7 miles away from Athena's home. Police approached them and told them to move back immediately. This is when they saw law enforcement hovering over a very deep ditch. Around 10 p.m., there was another news conference stating that they recovered her body and that she was on her way to the medical examiner's office. He also gave his condolences to her family and said that the FedEx driver was the suspect that they had for her death. They also stated that they think she died after only an hour of being abducted. His name is 31-year-old Tanner Horner, or should we say Tanner Horner. I hate even talking about cases like this. It just makes me sick to my stomach to hear what this poor girl had to go through. He also did state that they already had him in jail being charged with capital murder and aggravated kidnapping, and his bond was set at $1.5 million at that time. This county does not play about their kids, and luckily enough, there is the death penalty in Texas as well. Tanner admitted to picking up innocent Athena and did so many horrible things to her and then dumped her body like she was nothing. Oh, and another thing, he drove around for 2 full days watching everybody search for her. He's such a piece of shit, and there's truly a hot place in hell for him. Tanner was not actually employed through FedEx. He was just an independent contractor for the company, and honestly, I never knew that independent contractors got to use a company truck. I thought that they, just always drove their own vehicle. And just listen to this. Tanner has a very young child of his own and was engaged. So he literally went home for those 2 nights like nothing ever happened, like he didn't just murder and dump the body of an innocent 7-year-old. There was also signs leading up to what he did as well. There was a woman on Facebook named Shay Marie who had been accusing Tanner of rape for years. Nobody believed her, which is truly sick. She said she was 16 years old and Tanner was 23 when this happened. And it's like, come on now, dude. What the f*** are you doing with a 16-year-old when you're 23? After she heard about what he did to Athena, she then posted this. Tanner Lynn Horner, the man who raped me at 16, 8 years ago, murdered Athena Strand, a 7-year-old girl. I hope the family gets the justice they deserve. I hope he rots, and I hope that everyone who didn't believe me when I've talked about this for 8 years does now. Fuck all of you. She even posted this video on TikTok as well.
I've been going back and forth on posting this for like the past 12 hours. If you've seen my Facebook post, you've already seen it, you already know. And thousands of people have. And I'm overwhelmed by the amount of support and love that I've been receiving. The man, Tanner Lynn Horner, who murdered Athena Strand, a 7-year-old girl from Paradise, Texas. I was 16, 8 years ago. I was dealing with a lot of traumas at the time, dealing with a lot of heartache. I had just gone through my first breakup, and was hanging out with people I shouldn't have. His friend came and picked me up one night to go to one of their bandmates' house for band practice. We got drunk. I remember going to bed. I remember him trying to cuddle with me. I remember telling him I don't want to. And then the next thing I remember is him on top of me and his sweat dripping into my mouth and being on my stomach with my hands pinned behind my back. The next morning, I didn't remember what happened because I was blackout drunk. Even now, I only remember bits and pieces. Then they had their band practice the next day, and then his friend Cody drove me and him to his house, Tanner's house, where he lived with his grandparents. And he, at the time, lived in a shed in their backyard. Like he had converted it into a bedroom. We did acid that night. And at the end of the come down, which was about 8 o'clock or so the next morning, 7 o'clock, something along those lines, he tried to have sex with me. And that's when all the memories came flooding back and I started to panic. He wouldn't stop touching me. He wouldn't stop touching my side. He wouldn't stop touching my legs. He wouldn't stop touching my arm. He kept telling me things like, I'm so sorry that my ex did that to you, and I would never hurt you like that, and you deserve so much more. Finally, I was able to get out of the room. He wouldn't even leave to let me get dressed. I was able to get out of the room, and I ran through the backyard, through his grandparents' bedroom, and into the kitchen. I found a piece of mail with his address on it, texted it to my friend who got her biological mother to come pick me up. And for years, nobody believed me. I'm sorry to have to make this more than one part, but I have been screaming this man's name for 8 years. I had friends who I saw the day of, after my friend picked me up from his house. I saw a few friends the day of, and I told them what happened. I have never once hidden this man's name. Nobody believed me. My closest friends believed me, but as far as the general public goes, I was pretty much ridiculed and shunned from day one. He was, he called my best friend's ex, begging him to ask me not to call the cops. And I should have, but I was 16. I was already dealing with a bunch of other traumas that I was going through at the time. And I was scared. I was scared because if my peers aren't believing me, then why would the jury? I spent years on Facebook saying his name, telling my story. But it got nowhere. I'd get a few comments here and there, maybe a few reacts, but nobody really took it seriously. And when the news broke of whose name it was and people started looking him up on Facebook, they found my name and my posts that I tagged him in, or talked about him in. So I've had a few people tell me that I should come forward and tell my story, and I've received so much support, like an overwhelming amount of support. And I've gotten a few negative comments here and there, people saying that if I would have reported, then she would have been alive, and this, that, and another. But the reality is if I would have reported, he probably would have gotten out anyways. I was 16, I was drunk, I was high. Like, they wouldn't have believed me.
And get this, Shay and Tanner's fiance used to be friends. Shay literally warned her and even posted the messages from 2016. This is what they said. She now did work with the police and made a complaint about this as well. So his fiance knew what she had told her and still stuck by his side and was raising a child around him. The community was torn after this. Everyone came together to support the family during this hard time. Thousands of people locally and even globally left comments on Athena's mom's Facebook, giving her their condolences and their support. Athena's favorite color was pink, so multiple cities lit up their water towers and city buildings pink for her. There was a pink out day on December 5th to honor Athena. Literally everybody wore pink this day. Maitland wants everyone to know who her daughter was. She said Athena is innocent, kind, beautiful, and just the brightest and happiest soul you could meet. She does not want her remembered as the little girl who was murdered and dumped. She said she wants every person in this world to know that this is her baby and her baby was taken from her. She wants everyone to know her face and her voice and how much of a wonderful person she is. This case, I had to keep pausing to get my emotions and thoughts together because it's just so cruel. There was a press conference held on Thursday, December 8th, where Athena's mom spoke.
That delivery driver admitting to kidnapping and killing my innocent, free-spirited 7-year-old daughter on Friday, December 2nd. At the time of Athena's abduction, she was staying with her stepmother and father in Paradise, Texas, doing what kids do, playing within the bounds of her father's property on the same land he grew up and played on, the same land that for 20 or more years he, his siblings, and all of his friends had been safe. I was supposed to bring Athena back home to Oklahoma after Christmas break. Now instead, Athena will be cremated, and she will come home in an urn because I'm not anywhere close to being ready to let my baby go. I'm sorry. I will never see her bright blue eyes or her ornery smile again. I will never be able to hear her say, "I love you, Mommy." I will never be able to do her hair again or to hold her while she sleeps. I was robbed of watching her grow up by a man that everyone was supposed to be able to trust, to do just one simple task: deliver a Christmas present and leave.
The package that was delivered the day that Athena was taken and killed was displayed during the press conference, and it was a Barbie set, which was one of Athena's Christmas presents. The arrest warrant and charging document for capital murder was released. It said FedEx delivered a package to the residence during the same time that Athena went missing. FedEx had contracted out deliveries to a company called Big Top Spin. They were able to work with other employees to determine which van and driver made that delivery that day. Investigators also learned that the van had footage from a third-party vendor called Velocider, and they provided video footage of inside that truck that day, which is why we are seeing images going all around social media of him and Athena in that truck. When authorities first tracked down Tanner, he said that he accidentally backed into Athena and she was not seriously injured, but he panicked and put her into his van. He said in the van she was alive and talking, which she then told him her name was Athena. He said he attempted to break her neck to kill her, but it didn't work, so he strangled her with his bare hands in the back of his truck. He said he did that because Athena said she was going to tell her dad about being hit with the car. Like, okay, dumbass. If this is true, why would you think you'd get less consequences killing and dumping her body than accidentally backing into her with your truck and visibly seeing that she was okay? I don't believe that at all. I think he's just a sick waste of fear that had an opportunity and took it. Another thing is, if she were hit with the van, wouldn't you think she'd be too scared and shook up to even sit there and talk to him? I don't know, that's just my personal opinion. Documents stated that Tanner did commit aggravated kidnapping with the intent to facilitate the commission of a felony, namely capital murder, and that he intentionally and knowingly abducted her by restricting the movements of Athena without her consent, so as to interfere substantially with her liberty by moving her from one place to another with the intent to prevent her liberation by secreting or holding her in a place where she was not likely found. So reading that, it just makes me think that the kidnapping and killing was all in his plans. I do not believe the backing into her nonsense. And I forgot to mention this as well. Apparently, the argument that was said she got into with her stepmom was really with her stepsister, and she was mad that her stepmom didn't stick up for her. Athena was clearly upset by this and decided to go on a walk. And I know what you're thinking right now, because it's all off. Initially, her stepmother did not tell the police this information. Remember, she told them that Athena was in her room and that she was cooking dinner. The footage shows Athena walking and Tanner forcefully putting Athena into his truck. The first location he initially gave the police for Athena's body was not true. They went to go look and didn't find anything. So they went back to him and told him that they knew he was lying. Therefore, he was interviewed again and he admitted the real location where her body was. They said that he admitted to doing something to her because he so-called wanted to see what it was like. Athena was an amazing, loving, sweet 7-year-old girl who was taken away too soon. She had a whole life to live, and her memory will forever live on. This, again, is very heartbreaking, and it's sickening to even hear about. My condolences go to Athena's family. And awesome news, as of May 5th of 2026, he was sentenced to death. I know this will not take the pain away, I know it will not bring Athena back, and I know it will not fix anything, but it is nice to know that she is getting the justice that she deserves. Do I think that he should be taken out the same exact way Athena was taken? 100%. I am just so grateful that she and her family is getting the justice that they deserve. During the trial, they played the audio of when she was in his truck. It was truly heartbreaking and gut-wrenching. People had to literally step out of the room while it was playing, and there were jurors in the room that were wiping their tears away as it was playing. They showed a video of Tanner forcing Athena into his truck. He told her, "Don't scream or I will hurt you." She kept asking him, "Where are we going?" And she finally asked if he was a kidnapper. Tanner asked her to take off her shirt, which then Athena said, "My mom says that you cannot do that to me." You can hear her crying, and she says, no, I want my mama. I want my mama." The recording is more than an hour long of her crying and gasping for air and in pain, which is what they think might have been him strangling her. Athena's parents couldn't even listen to or watch this video and audio because it's so truly heartbreaking.
Did you have any chance to view or look at any portion of any videos in this case?
I did.
How much of it were you able to look at?
Maybe a minute, maybe two. I couldn't. I can't. And I'm very sorry to all of the innocent people that do have to watch that. I am so sorry. I'm sorry to you, and I'm sorry to y'all too. Because none of us, not Athena, not me, not anyone in this room besides Tanner Horner, asked for what's on that video. And Athena definitely didn't. I really am sorry.
This has to be on the top of the list for the saddest cases I've researched. I'm not going to put the audio in here because it is very gut-wrenching. What are your guys' thoughts on this case? And also, please have a conversation with your kids and let them know the dangers of strangers, and if ever in a situation similar to this, to scream as loud as they can. Athena did nothing wrong. She was trying to make sure that she did not get hurt, and this monster took advantage of her innocent life. Thank you so much for listening to Athena's story. And again, if you are not already, please make sure that you like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you never miss a future case. Stay safe.